Howdy, y'all. Jackson here with Ictric Studios, and welcome back to the big 10th episode of Outside the Hash. I can't believe we actually made it to double digits.
Yes,
As always,
sir.
I am Jackson, and I am joined by
Nate.
Kyle.
Kyle. Alright. You guys ready to get into the UFL?
Heck yeah. I only have one, so I can go.
Sounds good.
I also only have one, but I always go last. So.
Okay.
Got that
So,
shit.
it's battle of both my teams against San Antonio traveling on the road to play the Poo Poo Renegades. Shocker, the Renegades continue their quest for the first ever champs to winless. I will also be declaring if the Renegades pull off the winless season, I will try to find a custom jersey that lets me put champs to chumps as the name, and the jersey number will be 08 to represent the record for this season. So, unbelievable. And despite all this, by the way, Luis Perez first in passing. So, truly a phenomenon in the UFL. But nonetheless, Brahmas won. Pretty close half, relatively, I should say. And then Arlington clawed their way back into the game, tying it up in the third before forgetting they had to play football in all four quarters, with San Antonio shutting them out in the fourth to seal the victory. Both teams were all over 300 yards. Arlington threw the ball a lot more and threw it a bit more efficiently, whereas San Antonio, probably a big differentiator, outran them significantly better than Arlington, with over 100 more rushing yards, nearly 150 more rushing yards. Dormady of the Brahmas was 19 to 30, 164 yards, touchdown, and 3 interceptions. I truly don't understand how the Arlington Renegades they had 1 turnover, but win the turnover battle by 2 and still lose by 10 is crazy.
Do you think Dormady threw 3 picks because he sold the playbook to Dallas?
Yes.
No.
Oh, was he that? Was he that guy?
Well, he didn't actually do it. It was just alleged. I'm pretty sure he didn't actually do it. But that is him. That is him.
That's funny. Explains why they're doing so well. Okay.
Well, I think he just became the starter the week before, I think.
Yeah, he hasn't been starting for very long. He's kind of mid, but oh well. Luis Perez, 26-36, 270 yards and a touchdown. John Lovett led the way in rushing, 13 rushes, 95 yards, over 7 yards a carry, and a couple of touchdowns. His longest on the day was 36 yards, so he had a really great day. J.P. Payton of the Renegades had 7 catches, 119 yards, had a great average yards per reception at 17, caught a touchdown, and caught a 52-yard bomb, I believe it was in the third quarter. Is this the dagger to tie the game? Like I mentioned, 3 turnovers to 1. Arlington won that. And then, as I mentioned, the key differentiator was Arlington's inability to stop the run. The key play of the game was pretty much right at the end. Arlington fumbled in close to the red zone, and with, I think, less than 30 seconds. So chances of coming back down 10 were unlikely anyway. But we've seen it happen before. So next game, the Renegades are going to lose to the Panthers, and the Brahmas get a tough one against the DC Defenders. That should be a good game. So,
Okie dokie.
Hopefully not. Hopefully it's a blowout.
For the Defenders.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah, so you won't have to cover it.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then I have to cover it if DC gets blown out. So, all right. So first up, we've got the St. Louis Battlehawks took on the DC Defenders, and this game was not even close. The DC Defenders had the lead for exactly 0 seconds this entire game. I think a rating of 77.3 for Jordan Ta'amu is generous.
College football rating.
Yeah.
Stupid.
So that's even worse.
Yeah, it's a really stupid ranking system. I will say that. Going 12 for 23, so basically 500. for 101 yards with 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. That is
Remember,
not good.
it's Jordan's bad year.
Looks like it could beat the Renegades, though.
I'm pretty sure it already did, didn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
You'll have
Uh-huh.
another opportunity.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
a great
true,
outing
and
for
the-
them. And then on the rushing side, also not that great. Jordan Ta'amu was their best average at 6.5 yards per carry. But their leading rusher had 33 total yards. On the other side of the ball, the Battlehawks played a lot better, to say the least. They dominated this game on offense and defense. There's really not much else other than
To be-
blowout.
It wasn't really a blowout to the fourth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
fair,
it was
fair.
20-12 after 3. It was winnable.
DC
just fell apart.
Yeah.
It looks like the offense only showed up in the second quarter, and that was about it.
Well, it literally, yeah, because they only scored the second.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Moving
they were
on.
still destroyed.
This is another game that the Showboats did not lead for a single second. This one was also pretty close. This one was more of a close game, though. They won by 17, 35-18. Michigan Panthers won, and they did keep it close through 3, and then it just kind of
Again, similar situation. Just fell apart.
just gave up
both.
in the fourth quarter. Yeah.
Not as bad as DC as bad as DC.
Yeah, I was gonna also it looks like where Memphis really struggled was on the rush. They didn't get anything. They did not establish any kind of run
Always
game.
had a bad run
Yeah, they
game.
have a bad line.
Yeah, that's
Seeing
what
why
it
that
looks
their
like.
backup
Bad
quarterback is playing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again.
9 attempts for 17 yards is not good for
But then again,
their,
it was a backupable.
running back.
It was a
Yeah.
backup, yeah. So he,
EJ Perry's
Did what he
out
could.
too. But Danny Edelman played good. Good for Danny.
Yeah,
he got a
Edwards
rushing
played
touchdown.
well.
Patriot legend,
What?
baby.
Yeah, he had a rushing touchdown, but no passing touchdowns. A good completion percentage.
Game manager.
67%. Game manager for real.
He's JJ McCarthy.
175 yards isn't bad either. And that sums up my 2 games. So now it's on to you, Jackson.
Well,
Alrighty. Let me share my screen. Screen 1. Slideshow.
Sorry for all the extra noise.
getting shot at.
Alright. Episode 10 UFO.
No, some people just don't know how to get out of the way for ambulances, it seems.
Based.
Alright, so I only had one game because my teams played each other. The Birmingham Stallions took on the Houston Gamblers and kicked the crap out of them. Final score was 32-9. The game was over at halftime because neither team really put much up in second half. They tied in the first downs, but once again Birmingham just killed them with the run, because that's how they win their games. They were outpassed, but that's not really their offense. They outgained them total by almost 100 yards. They didn't have any fumbles. They actually didn't have any turnovers. They were a little undisciplined, but it didn't really matter. Hit a couple of field goals. They weren't great on their 2-point conversions. And they won the time of possession. They did return Adrian Martinez to the starting lineup this week. He was their star. He picked up 138 yards on the ground. And then he was 11 of 20 for 155 in the air. And then for Houston, I gave their star to Justin Hall, who had 11 catches for 93 yards. So really more of a just for bulk.
To be honest, Houston didn't really out-throw the Stallions. They just threw 20 more passes
Yeah.
and only 80 more yards.
Yeah.
I'd argue Adrian was better in the air too,
Yeah.
but
I would also argue he was better.
I guess Houston was more accurate.
It's-
But
It comes down to those 2 interceptions for me.
Yeah.
It isn't worth the extra.
But why does he need the air
yards.
when he can run for 138 yards on the ground?
Right,
True.
right, for sure.
Alright, so here's how we did on the pick'em. Kyle still leads out here, 17-3.
Dang.
We all did pretty well.
We all lost one, yeah.
Yeah, and the standings. So,
Champs to chumps,
Wait,
baby.
go back one. I think Nate faked himself out on the Battlehawks one because he didn't like that he was going all away teams. I thought, right?
I don't know. I picked the defense.
That joke too! Stupid, it's suspicious patterns.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then
think
you
about
gotta
it,
trust
think
your
about it
gut.
like statistics. The stats don't care about what happened previously.
Whatever.
Or after. Or
Whatever.
back.
I only picked the defenders because I wanted you to cover defenders win.
Oh well.
I was picking with my heart.
I outgained Kyle by like 8 games this week because of a certain league that we'll get to later.
Yeah.
I mean, you both did.
Yep. Alright. So then, so yeah. Both conferences are kind of even, pretty much. At least
We're
in
carrying
FRS,
right
yeah. Here's how our league leaders.
Pisses me off.
Lee Fred
First
still has a
and
100-yard lead.
Oh my gosh. First in passing and winless.
That is impressive.
That's insane.
It's because you're down all the time, so you're just throwing the ball.
Yeah, Luis Perez and
A lot of
AJ
our
McCarron
fans are
pretty
dogging on him,
close.
and I was just like, bro, Luis is literally not the problem. Stop it.
He is not.
Yeah,
He's
1,000 yards,
playing-
only 2 interceptions.
Only 2 picks.
Yeah, it's not
Buddy,
bad at all.
6 touchdown passes is low, but like,
Given third place has 5 interceptions, yeah, 2 isn't bad.
No, Tamu kind
Not
of
in the
sucks, though.
slightest.
it's his
Yeah.
bad year.
He just had 3.
True.
But,
Receiving. I think what's also impressive is it isn't like you guys have just one receiver. He's dumping it off to everyone.
Yeah.
mhm.
I also like how the rushing is that Martinez only has 1 touchdown because Ricky Person steals all the end zone touches, or all the red zone touches.
He's the opposite Jalen
for
Hurts.
scoring, can you put their position in
Oh, sure.
for next week? Just so we know,
Kicker,
so
runner,
we
kicker.
can differentiate between Hunter.
It's kicker, running back, kicker is what it is.
Nice. Battlehawks, nice with 36 on kicker. Nice.
It's okay. You'll find a way to miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Somehow at this point, yeah.
So here is the pick'em. Let me pull this over.
Anti-Renegades. We're going for...
And
Okay, Stallions. That's going to be the
yeah,
route of
give
the
me Stallions.
century.
Kyle and Nate and Gamblers versus Battlehawks.
Battlehawks.
Yep.
Easy.
Yep, give me Battlehawks.
Panthers. Easy.
What about you, Kyle?
I'll come back to it.
You're
Brahmas
joking. Are you
Defenders.
actually serious? I'm gonna...
Tamu had a bad game, so he's due for a good game.
I'll rep my boys. I'll go with San Antonio.
Yeah, give me San Antonio and then give me the Renegades.
Back to
I'm
back
up,
week.
hey,
for
I'm
the
up a few
Renegades.
games right now. I can take risks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so pissed if the Renegades win. Not because of the pick'em, but because I won't get my champs to chumps shirt. I want that winless season.
All right. And since the thing just comes up when I do it, I don't bother getting a screenshot.
I
That
You
still
make-
feels right. That still just feels right.
everything's right, but I say you make a tier below F, and just make an own separate tier for the Renegades just because of the circumstances.
I'll
To
give
go-
the
like I
Renegades a
said-
tier.
I
Yeah.
actually put Renegades to B tier for me.
Is the Renegades tier? No.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Here you go. No offense to the gay people. We're using it not as a homophobic slur, but it just as a
is they're happy.
Yeah,
They're
like
happy.
like what we like to say.
Ain't nothing wrong with being a little gay. Everybody's a little gay.
Yep, just like the Renegades. Is there an E?
Nate, you
Is
asked
there
for
another
that one.
E? I don't know how to spell
I
that
know.
name.
I was even the one that Jackson was the one that suggested calling it hers. I just confirmed it.
Is there another E in Renegade? I don't. I
Mhm.
guess- okay, so it's RENE.
Yes, that's
GDS.
right.
Okay.
You're good.
Alrighty. And we're
Okay.
keeping this thing the same. Yeah, St. Louis is 2. Actually, for right now, I'll move St. Louis up to Stallions tier.
I don't know. Sure, they beat the Brahmas, but they're still both 4-1, and I thought that was a pretty close game still. So
I
I
can't
prefer
put
to move
anyone
them.
on the Stallions tier,
Until the Stallions
Yeah.
lose.
Yeah, until the Stallions lose.
which is never. They're going for them.
And
I
I feel
think
like-
they go undefeated.
I feel like if they lose, it's going to be to the Brahmas or.
St.
And depending
Louis.
on which
Those
one
are
it
the
is,
only two
it's gonna-
teams, and it's
yeah.
gonna be on the road.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, St.
Probably-
Louis goes to
On the
Birmingham.
road for the Stallions, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's the only way.
Yeah, St. Louis plays in Birmingham because I would have went to that game if it was in St. Louis, but it's not.
Okay.
Okay,
All right, on to LFA.
Kyle, I have 3. Do you have
I have at least one. I have one.
any? You go.
All right. So, given the nature of this, I had the Dinos against the Reyes. We got a 13-0 shutout. Dinos edging out the Reyes for the win on this one.
Excuse me?
High scoring, thrilling game. Once again, no stats, even though they played a day earlier than usual.
Yeah,
So-
Reyes haven't scored in 2 weeks.
Nope, they have not.
Gosh.
So that sums up my game.
Cool. Yep, mine are going to go just about as fast, just 3 times as long because I have 3 slides. All right, I can't believe I'm doing this again, but the Galgos, hottest team in the league? Question mark. Minus the one team that's undefeated. Will also be covered in a minute. The Galgos take down the Hefes. My headset is dying. Hang on just a second. I get that fixed. Get this plugged in. Run. Okay, we're good. But the Galgos won 36-31. Pretty high scoring game considering who we're talking about here. Trayvon Boykin and then the Hefes. 2 teams that are obviously notoriously known for their offenses and not for the fact that they throw an interception every other play.
I
But
was about to say, known for their touchdowns without interceptions.
yes,
Yep.
yes.
Both
But
teams.
first quarter score is probably the most notable thing here. As the Hefes scored a touchdown, then an extra point blocked, and Hefes, the Galgos, returned it for 2 points, and that was their only points of the quarter. So, Galgos moment. Pretty funny stuff.
Also
But
Hefe
they controlled
moment.
the rest of the game. Also a Hefe's moment, yeah. Key play of the game was, as I mentioned, the blocked extra point. Pretty funny stuff. So
Big momentum swing.
yes, probably could be argued maybe it was, but probably highly doubtful.
I think
but,
the Hefe has a halftime lead, but
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, it wasn't until I think sometime in the third the Galgos took over. But next game, the Galgos, sadly, their streak is going to end as they traveled to play the Fundies.
but they're the second coldest team in the
struggling.
league.
They're coldest, but I got to imagine that's going to stop. So, speaking of the Fundies, they lost to my Mexicas. Final score is 40-29. They did not put up a very good fight in this one. The Fundies, I should say. My Mexicas, clear cut, probably for second best team in the league now. They were in control of this game throughout. Relatively close first half. didn't really dominate any individual quarter besides maybe the third, as the Fundies didn't score there, but they weren't just putting up 25 like the freaking Battlehawks. But overall, another disappointing performance for the Fundies. Great for my Mexicas though, so I'll take it. Key play of the game was Mexicas. They deserved the proper enunciation again. I'll give it to them. Sally Ali, 11-yard touchdown run with 9:31 left in the third to finalize the win. I think that put him at 30-something points. So that's a fun name too, Sally Ali. So I'll have to remember
Like Sally Ali the fourth.
I think so. I think you're right. And then the next game is against at home against the Dinos. Had to imagine the Mexicas win that. And then the game everyone was looking forward to all year. Cadillos. I spelt it wrong yet again. Oh, actually, no, I didn't spell it wrong. I just forgot to correct it because I was copied from last week. But the Cadillos, we're not in danger of losing this one. We're in control of the game beyond the first quarter. They were losing in the first, which seems like that's been a trend for them. Whereas a team thinks they're going to beat us, and then Cadillos just pull away either in the second or third, depending how bored they are. And this time is in the second quarter.
Yeah.
Second
like
half
giving
was
the other
pretty
team a
quiet.
handicap.
Pretty much. And they were playing a dangerous game against the Fundies last week, but this one was they weren't messing around too much. Kudos to the Galos Negros to holding the Cadillos under 30, though. So, key play of the game is Jeremy Johnson touchdown pass to Saul Bibiano. Started the fourth, which sealed the game for the Cadillos. And next game, the Cadillos look to end the season, go back-to-back undefeated regular seasons against the Raptors at home. We will see if they can do it. Probably.
All right. So LFA, I got an easy week because I lost.
Nice.
So
Nice.
here's how our pick'em went.
Nice. Nate went up a game.
Yeah.
Had a good week.
So Nate is in first, I'm in second, and Kyle is in third, but it's a pretty good cluster. Not the closest cluster, actually. We'll see that later. But, yeah. So here's how the standings look with SRS. The Rays really are just a kind of a step below everybody.
Fundies at 6th with 2. That's funny.
Yeah. Cadillo's on their own tier by being up by 9.
Oh, we finally allowed
I
100
think the
points.
most impressive part is almost half the league is 3 and 4.
Yeah.
Half the leagues.
Remember when the Fundies started 3 and 0?
Yeah.
And then they fell apart.
To their credit, they played the Cadillos and Mexicas. Did they play the Raptors too? I don't remember.
No, it was the Dinos.
Yeah,
Dinos
the
beat them.
Dinos. Yeah, the Dinos showed
and then
up
they
for one
had a
game
bad loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. They've shown up for 2 other ones.
Yeah.
I think it's just more the fact that they played other crap teams.
Yeah. So here's our league leaders, but this isn't updated through this week. It's only updated through last week because Mexico is very slow at getting their stats out. But at least we get stats eventually, unlike some other leagues. Cough, cough. Zepler, Johnson, Allen, still those top 3. I believe one person
I think
changed
that's a
out.
lock.
Yeah, one person changed out, I think, on rushing. All these are kickers, by the way, Kyle, so...
Yeah, I figured as much.
Cool.
And I think looked like Jeremy Johnson did find a replacement for Sonic. Malik Stanley.
Not as spectacular replacement though. I mean,
Not as good.
That got
Not as lopsided, but
nowhere close because that dude last year put up I think 1,200 yards
yeah.
at least.
He threw 2 more games, but still like twice.
2 more games, yeah, but he's still marginally better.
Yeah.
Malik is a Still done a pretty fine
But
job.
poor
though.
Juwan, who's went from undefeated to winless. Did he really
In
step
his
up?
defense, he went to a team that just won a championship. How could you imagine that a team that won a ring would be 0-5?
'Cause they went 4-6 the year before.
Even so, you wouldn't expect a team that goes 4-6 to be winless.
Bob Stoops won his championship and then clogged out.
For real, Bob just retired, bro.
Yeah. Alright,
Just be done.
here's the pick Dino, that Mexicas. I'm going Mexicas.
Mexicas, baby.
Yeah, give me the Mexicas.
Kyle and 8. I'm going Fundies because I hope they.
I'm gonna go with Fundies as well.
I am
they'll stop
for
the bleeding.
chaos. Give me the Galgos.
Okay.
I love that pick, Kyle. I love it.
I'm going Cadillos.
I can't do this.
Oh yeah, give me Caudillos.
You're not going for chaos there though, Kyle, to break up.
Oh
the perfect
god no!
even?
I mean, I'm going for the one chaos that could happen.
He's going for chaos, but he's also going for somewhat realistic.
Okay, the Gallus Negros are gonna
Yeah,
win,
yeah.
but I love my Hefes, so.
I'll go with
Uh,
Kyle and Gallus
Give me
Negros.
the Blackhawks. Yep.
Yep.
You could probably move Mexicas up to A. Oh wait, no. We wanted to keep it separate. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're the 10-point
You're
difference
right.
just about.
Yeah. Never mind. Forget about that. So those two are fine.
I'll put the Hefes
Yep.
below the Dinos now, because the Hefes returned.
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
fine with
Hefes.
that.
I think honestly that's fine.
Yeah,
Everything is
it's
looks
definitely the
pretty
right order.
Yeah, I agree to that.
Cool.
I mean, in a sense, you could move Galagos and Dinos up to average Blackhawk enjoyer, because they are 3 and 4, just like those other two teams. But I think they are the weaker of the two, or the weaker two of the four.
Yeah.
Trayvon Boykin's still Trayvon Boykin.
Yeah.
Dinos are one of the hardest teams to figure out in all the leagues we cover.
Yes, I
They
agree.
just make no sense. Put up 40 on the fundies and then you barely put up 13 last week. Oh my gosh.
Hey, but their defense played. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
That ain't you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
All right, you ready for the
I like-
IFL?
I've got
Yeah.
all three of my teams for this
I
one.
have one, so I'll go first.
I have to cover
Right.
all three of mine, but our week did not go good.
For all of us?
No, for my week, for my
Oh.
teams.
For his teams, not for the pick'em. I think we did pretty okay for the pick'em. All right, so my one matchup was an upset. San Antonio looking like they're figuring things out. They took down the Frisco Fighters. Final score was 54-52. Frisco was leading after 3, but offense kind of stalled out late in the 4th, and San Antonio was able to pull away. San Antonio had more first downs. They did have issues with penalties, though. This game is clearly rigged for Frisco. It still couldn't win. So, typical Dallas Cowboy minor league football team behavior. San Antonio had about 25-ish more yards. Wasn't that big of a yardage disparity. They did throw the ball better than Frisco. That's not a surprise in the slightest, though. Frisco did well outrun San Antonio with 4.8 yards per carry versus San Antonio's under 2. They were pretty miserable running the ball. But we got Sam Castronova putting up 25 from 33, 222 yards and 8 touchdowns. I don't think you need to worry about running the ball.
Yeah.
TJ Edwards was 8 for 16, 142 yards, a couple touchdowns and a pick. But he did run it for 9 carries, 49 yards, and 4 touchdowns.
To be noted
He
that
was the best.
that pick
What's
was
that?
just at the end of the game. That was just chucking it towards
Forgot
the end
about
of the game.
Thank you for that. Yeah, that was a last second heave. Really, I could probably just do that and say it's kind of a
Yeah,
Mickey
yeah,
Mouse
yeah.
interception, to be honest. They did, like I said, best runner of the game. Devin McCoy had 4 catches, 81 yards, and 2 touchdowns for San Antonio. His longest catch of the game. Actually, sorry, I think that's for Frisco. And his longest was 37 yards. So he did a lot of catching, well over half the receiving yards for his team. So, and like only 1 turnover. So it was a clean game. This was the big differentiator, though, and I think it's kind of surprising considering how the team's play styles are. San Antonio throws it way more than Frisco, but despite that, had 15 more minutes of time of possession.
I think it's because there's running clock, even on incompletes, except for the
I guess
last
that's
minute.
true. I guess that's true.
That makes sense.
That would make more sense as to why that is. So, key play of the game
Not
was
till 15
Daquan
minutes
Murray.
worth, though.
Still. Definitely odd. But, I guess Sam was just, I almost said something else. He balling out this game. 11-yard touchdown catch for Daquan Murray with a minute left to give San Antonio the lead. So, it took San Antonio the entire game to pull this one off. But they did almost give Frisco a little bit too much time there. This was Frisco's first home loss since 2 years to the date, April 30th, 2022. And their next game, they play each other again, this time in San Antonio. So another guaranteed win and loss for me.
All right. Let me string the right thing. So, first up, we have the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Duke City Gladiators. Undefeated team beats winless team. Shocker. I will say this game was a little bit surprising in terms of the amount of yards of offense the Nighthawks had for the score they had. They had 83 yards passing and 61 rushing and scored 42 points, which is kind of impressive. They had 4 touchdowns through the air with 2 interceptions and 1 touchdown on the ground, which means they also scored a touchdown either with a return or a pick six. I couldn't figure that out based on the stats. It was difficult to read out. But they definitely did score a touchdown between one of those two.
Well, on this next time, on the site, it gives the breakdown of all the scores.
Yeah,
so you can
there's
read it
just a
that way.
box score.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
Yeah.
I missed
you
it.
can see where the scores. Yeah,
So you can see
It's the
how they
first tab.
scored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Vegas Golden Knights had 30 yards less of total offense compared to Duke City, despite winning by 15 points, which is pretty impressive.
Well, the Vegas
probably-
Golden Knights lost by 2 last night, but
Sorry, Vegas Nighthawks. Sorry, man.
same ownership group.
sorry.
Yeah, same ownership, same
Sure.
Vegas, Vegas Knight, it's all about the Knights, So moving on to the next game, we have the Massachusetts Pirates again.
You can't make this up with my teams, man. I
You
have another
really can't.
winless team.
You really
It
can't.
doesn't make it make sense.
Don't worry, they'll beat Iowa.
The Pirates had a pretty good game. They kept it. They won by 5, so not their best, especially against a winless team. Definitely a little bit shaky after the loss last week, but a win is a win. They had 4 touchdowns through the air with 2 interceptions on the Pirates side, compared to 3 touchdowns, no interception on Sioux Falls, and I think that's the main disparity between the two, is just those 2 interceptions went a long way. And then both teams had 2 rushing touchdowns, and then Sioux Falls did quite a bit better on the run game as well, so that's why it also felt a lot more balanced. I would also like to point out the average kind of kickoff was 50 yards, which is impressive. Seeing the field is 50 yards.
They made it to the end zone every time.
Yeah, they made it to the end zone every time, which is quite impressive. Last game, we have the Wranglers took on the Tucson Sugar Skulls. This game was a very close game. it really came down to a Tucson Sugar Skull missed field goal in the first quarter. Well, not missed, but blocked. So it made them with that missed field goal. The final score was 34-31. They could have probably pushed it to overtime, but it was very well played for them. But Northern Arizona just kind of edged them out.
Yo.
Yep. All right, and that sums up my game.
Nice.
All right. So, IFL. So to start off my great week, first game I had was Tulsa at Quad Cities. Tulsa won 72-59. Though a couple of those scores were at the very, very end, so it was a little bit closer than that, but still no defense, basically. Tulsa won almost everything, except for rushing. And I guess there was such a disparity in the rushing that it made them lose total yards, but since they didn't turn the ball over, that's why they get the win. Both teams had a lot of penalties, a very undisciplined game, but the kicking was actually pretty good. Tulsa hit 9 of 10 on PATs and 1 of 2 field goals, and then Quad Cities hit 8 of 8 with 1 field goal. My stars were quarterback Daniel Smith for Tulsa with 14 of 18 for 209 and 3 touchdowns. He also had 5 touchdowns on the ground. And then Judd Erickson for QC, who was 16 of 18 for 176, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and then 2 touchdowns on the ground. My next game, I had the Iowa Barnstormers at the Green Bay Blizzard. Iowa lost 33-40. In a really kind of surprising way, because they pretty much led in everything. I guess the difference once again was not hitting their they had a turnover, and then
Time possession.
Yeah, not getting your PATs. So yeah, Green Bay must have been scoring quick when they were scoring. 37-41 is also impressive on your field goal distance in the indoor leagues.
Yeah.
I gave Quian Williams the the star for Iowa, who had 9 receptions, 74 yards, 2 touchdowns, and also had a rushing touchdown. And then Max Maylor for Green Bay, who had another good performance for him for 7 of 15, 86, 3 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. And then my final game was the Jacksonville Sharks losing to the Arizona Rattlers, 55-35. Again, though this was actually a close game for 3 quarters, and then Jacksonville forgot how to play football. But if you look at the breakdown, it's pretty obvious why they lost, because they got beat down in pretty much everything, especially rushing. They didn't have a turnover. They didn't have a fumble, but they did have an interception. Kicking was good for the most part. Time of possession about even. Dalton Snead returned, so Arizona might be good again. So in his return, he was 18 of 26 for 176, 2 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns on the ground. And for Jacksonville, I gave their star to Jeremiah Payton, who had 6 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown. Around the league, Panthers and Strikeforce ran it back and had pretty much the exact same game in a 1-score win for the Panthers, or a 1-point win for the Panthers. It should be noted that San Diego scored with under a minute to go and went for 2 to try to take the lead and missed it. So I respect the balls. It just didn't work out.
I respect it.
Yeah. So
I think it's impressive that it was a close game the first time last week with a win by 3, followed by a win by 1.
Well, it's almost like they're 2 really good teams.
yeah.
Yep.
Crazy concept.
Yeah.
Oh, I did well.
So here is how we did.
I'm 7 games over now. I'm happy with that. I was slacking.
Yeah.
I net 1 more game this week. Nice.
Yep. Here's how we sit in the standings. I like how the SRS really doesn't like the Pirates.
Yeah.
They did struggle in this game this last week against the Storm.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Benefield was
it-
hurt, so that's a
fair enough.
contributing factor.
It was.
It really likes the Strike Force as it should.
He likes Nighthawk, he likes the Panthers, he likes Frisco.
Yeah.
It's as it should.
Gunslingers are positive now because
It
they
really
they got a
doesn't
really
like
good
the
win.
Pirates. It really doesn't.
And they're
like the
scoring a
Pirates.
crap ton of points.
Yeah.
it doesn't like the,
280 allowed is insane, though.
yeah. Because they have no
Only
defense.
only one team within 40 points of them, or 30 points.
Yeah.
There are two teams within 40, but the Rattlers are actually not that far behind.
Rattlers have had one more game.
Oh,
Is
that's
Rattlers the-
never mind then.
Yeah.
Is Rattlers the best offense? Yeah. Right.
Well, once again, one more game.
One more game,
Oh,
so I
it's the
probably
it's the
give it to the
gunslinger.
Gunslingers.
The Gunslingers
Yeah.
have more points than the Pirates, who have played one more game than them. And they're only right behind the Rattlers, who have played one more game than them.
Yeah. Nice.
I guess Nighthawk at 253 are close in 5 games.
That's right.
That being said,
Yeah,
it
'cause-
feels like the Nighthawks haven't played anyone.
I don't think
You're probably
SRS
right.
likes them though,
True.
because you could
I
be
guess
like the
that's all.
Pirates, and be 5-1 and have a negative.
It's insane.
It tells you which division is good and which one is not.
Fair. Fair.
Because everybody's negative except for Frisco on the East.
Jeez, I just saw that. Oh my
I didn't even
gosh,
notice that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
that's hilarious. Wow.
And everyone but the Sugar Skulls and Gladiators are above on the other side.
Yep.
That's impressive.
0-5 and still under -10 is pretty good. That's
Yeah, it helps when you play all the good teams.
yeah.
Alright, so here are the league leaders. You got Castronova at 1. 28-1 is wild.
He's living up to the team name for sure.
Except he's not throwing picks, so he's not really a gunslinger. He's just a deadly assassin.
Yeah, that's true.
Except they're losing. Some games. Well, they were losing. Now they're winning.
Now winning games.
Yeah. It took them 5 weeks to get adjusted to the
GJ
IFL from the
Edwards
NAL.
scoring though, that is absolutely bonkers. 18 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I think it's quarterback, running back. I think kicker.
Holy
I'm not 100%
crap,
sure.
that's crazy. That's crazy. He's such a ball hog.
Yeah.
He's
He'd
such a ball hog.
If indoor football had fantasy, he'd be the best.
If indoor football had a Kobe Bryant, it's TJ Edwards.
Would San
And it
Antonio be
fits.
better if he was their starting quarterback? Question
It
mark.
fits because his team logo, it's not a helicopter, but it's, it's close enough.
Oh.
I'm just saying.
Alright. On to the pick. Alright.
Just first ones. I go Oilers.
Yeah.
They put up 72.
What are the record? What are the records for both?
Sharks are winless.
Sharks are 0-5.
Tulsa, I think,
Tulsa
1 or 2
is
wins.
3-2.
Oh,
Oh yeah, give me Oilers then.
I didn't realize they had 3.
Well, they're on the negative side, so you know.
I knew that. I just thought they were. I thought they only had 1 or 2 wins.
Winter Storm. Yeah.
0-5.
Winless.
They're the worst team according to
I
SRS.
probably.
Yeah. Okay. All
Blizzard.
right. Give me Blizzard then. I feel like that's an easy one.
Oh,
Are they running it back right away?
Yes.
Back to back weeks.
Back to back. This is the second time they've done this.
Yeah, the
Good thing
scheduling
they
is
did it
tough.
with good games. Somehow they
They
left.
did do it with insane. Their 2 best matchups of the year, it's scheduling wise, and they did it back to back for both. This one's. I'm gonna come back to that one. That one's really, really hard to pick.
I believe in the fight gunslingers now. You know.
You're probably right.
Give me the Gunslingers as well.
I'll go with Gunslingers with you guys then.
That way you can be happy either way.
Yeah.
Barnstormers suck.
Yeah, give me Steam Wheelers. That's an obvious one.
Oh, we have a good game. Are you going Steam Wheelers, Nate?
Yes.
This is a good
give me
game.
Panthers. I feel like Panthers are the better team here.
I think,
I probably agree with Kyle.
yeah, I agree that
That's you can't
Panthers.
have. Got it.
Just in terms of who they've
Strike
played,
Force.
they've shown it a lot better. Yes,
Nate Davis is second in passing. Kyle's hesitation makes me want to go Wranglers though.
give me Wranglers.
You know, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
catch
it's a bold take. I think
Yeah.
Strike Force is better. I have a feeling.
I think
with
you
the
could be
Wranglers.
right. San Diego's lost 2 in a row. Of course.
Well, I mean,
To the
they're playing the
champions,
strongest team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why they have lost 2 in a row.
All right. I might put Gunslinger to the next thing. Kufi out also up.
I'm fine with that.
Tim.
Not much movement.
She's at the bottom. Yeah. All right, on to the National Arena League.
I have one team,
Yeah, I have one game too.
and it's half complete.
Let me see what. Well, I didn't have any, so you're good.
Oh,
Yeah, there are only 2 games.
okay. So I had the Carolina Cobras taking on the Sioux City Bandits. Only half the stats were uploaded, and it was only the Sioux City Bandits. So we're just gonna go through that real quick.
I bet you the Sioux City
so-
website had the full stats because they have a really
Maybe
good internal.
I didn't think
stat
about
keeping.
checking that. Yeah, I didn't think about checking that. I checked the main website. So Cobras won 55-24. Close game through 3. Then Sioux City didn't play
Fell
offense in the
apart.
fourth.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
Looking at the stats for Sioux City, Joshua Hollins looked pretty good. Wait. Never mind, he looked terrible. I misread that for a second. 1 completion for 13 attempts for 21 yards and a touchdown pass.
That's
Are you
wild.
actually serious?
That's wild.
Yes, 12 incomplete.
How'd they score 20 points?
A lot of 3 rushing touchdowns.
I mean, Joshua Hollins. to
Let
be
me
fair,
increase the size of this. Yes.
To be fair, yeah, thank you. Joshua Hollins does run a lot more usually, or
it-
he's at least better on the
it is-
ground.
It is
But that's
impressively bad
crazy.
on offense. I will say that. I completely misread the stats for a second there. Yeah, 1 completion, 12 incomplete, 1 interception, and 13 on
Looks
13
like
attempts.
Anthony Rendon's batting average.
Yeah, and then they also had their kicker throw, 0 completions, 0 for 1 with an interception. Not
like
much better, or not much worse than their
Looks
starter.
like Martin Maldonado's batting average.
For their rushing, they definitely did better on their rushing, but it once again not well. And this is probably why they fell apart in the fourth, is they just could not establish anything throughout the first 3 quarters. I wish I had Carolina's stats, but sadly, I do not. All right.
Yeah, and I lied. I did have a game. They just lost.
Yeah. From Kurt's side. NAL. Yeah, Nate's, not Nate. I had Kyle. I played Kyle. The Oklahoma City Flying Aces at the Idaho Horsemen. And since it was at Idaho, that means their full team was there. And that was pretty evident because despite the fact the score was 36-49, it was not that close because it was 49-14 in the fourth to start the fourth. So Uh,
That is impressive.
they had a lot of short fields. That's why their yards weren't very big.
They almost brought it back. That's kind of impressive.
Yeah. So shout out to Idaho's defensive lineman, who's a kicker, who was 5 of 6, and then that 2-point conversion was actually a muffed snap on an extra point where he picked up the ball and then threw a 2-point conversion. So
Based.
shout out to the defensive lineman kicker.
He's playing better.
Yeah, he was.
He should have been the star right there.
Well, I just wanted to shout out Austin Schaefer for showing up this week. Literally. Not just figuratively. Literally showing up because they were home. So, for Oklahoma, I give their star to Hassan Muhammad, who had 134 yards on the ground. And for Idaho was their quarterback, Austin Schaefer, who was there. This team is completely different when Austin Schaefer is there.
I'm gonna look up Austin Schaefer on LinkedIn and see if he's on there.
He's a construction worker. He owns a construction company. That's what he's doing when he's not.
So he works. Can't travel then.
So that'd be funny if I could try to connect with him. It's like, hey, we watch you play football when you show up.
Yeah, I love you when you play. Alright, and then my Colorado Spartans had a bye week. So here's how we did. We all choke jobbed it on the Bandits.
Yes, we did.
I had a
Collectively, we're pretty good, though, on our pick'ems.
yeah.
Here is how
Helps when there's like 2 picks a week.
Here's how our standings look. The Bandits, it's just, SRS crashed.
Let's go.
Oh, that tanked, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so.
Bandits might end up being my second mid team ever.
It would be pretty hard for them to be mid at this point. I don't think they're gonna hit mid. I think they're gonna hit above average.
I don't know. Colorado's figuring things out. Idaho, when they play at home, is good. So that could be.
Yeah, I mean that's 500 right there. It's
So-
guaranteed 500.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 500's mid.
Yeah.
Well, against one team, but then they have a few good wins already. And then Flying Aces are just awful.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah. The worst team in the league.
Another team contending for worst team recovering.
Yep.
0-3 with that SRS is crazy. Of
Yeah.
course. Hard to
84
judge that,
points,
but
by the way.
I think it's because Horseman's SRS was so bad going into this because of their 2 big
Yeah.
losses without their quarterback.
Probably.
dog, the Cobras have played 3 more games than the Flying Aces. And the Beef. Cobras aren't going to be playing for a while soon.
Yeah, they're just going to have
Yep.
a bunch of bye weeks before the playoffs.
Yep.
Alright, so here's our league leaders. Colorado in first makes sense.
Tommy in first in rushing's wild. He's playing 3
He's been playing in like
games.
2 weeks.
He's playing 3 games. 3 less games than the Carolinas rusher, and he's above them.
Oh, that's our quarterback, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so is Tommy for us. I hear skill issue, Kyle.
Yeah.
It is a skill issue.
Has 5 more rushing touchdowns too. What's with my quarterbacks being ball hogs?
It's just the name of the game and indoor sometimes, you know?
Second in scoring with 3 less games played. So you know what? 1 less than the Colorado guy, to be
Yeah.
fair. But 3 less than Carolina and 12 more points.
Yeah, well, because Steven over here has to share with Deontay, who also gets a bunch of touchdowns
That's
in
fair.
receiving.
That is pretty insane then.
Alright, so.
Right.
Yeah, so
Tommy
Colorado
on-
top 2
dropping
in
like
receiving.
66 points. Fucking ball hog.
Yeah, so it's wide receiver, quarterback, wide receiver on the scoring. And here is our pick.
Beef. That might be the easiest pick of all time.
That would be really easy. So let's go beef.
Yeah.
I was debating for a
Spartans
second.
at Horsemen.
Horsemen at home are different, are just built different.
I'm gonna go with Austin.
Yeah, give me
Schiffer.
Horsemen.
I'll go with you guys on this one too.
I could see Spartans winning though.
Same, but we'll see.
I feel like we need to split Idaho
You could
into
probably
Idaho
bump
home
down-
and Idaho away.
We do have Idaho.
Oh
on the
yeah,
road.
we already do technically.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna put Flying Aces still on Idaho on the road. at this
I
point.
agree.
You
Other
could
than
I'd
that,
probably-
it looks like no change.
Spartans might go ahead. No, they lost to Sioux City, didn't they? They lost by 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Other than that, I
Yeah.
think that's fair right there.
Okay.
All right, on to the Premier League, the best indoor league, and
Yep.
they would tell you definitely.
Very biased source. I have two games on this.
I also have to, so up to you.
I'll go first this time.
I also have to.
All right. So getting started. We only have the scores for this. First up, we have the West Texas Desert Hawks beating the Georgia Force 51-28. They played on Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time at Ector County Coliseum.
Yeah, you know
And
they're so good I might just sue them.
True. They didn't have their attendance numbers listed, so 0 people showed up apparently.
Yep.
Next up, we got the Nashville Cats. The Nashville Cats beat the Minnesota Myth 47-12. They played on Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium to an attendance of 5,704 people.
And this game was not streamed anywhere. You could not watch it. It was
Nope.
not real.
Yep.
There
not
was a
real.
radio broadcast, but that was it.
I don't believe in the radio.
All right. First game for me was the Kansas Storm at Salina Liberty. Salina won 42-40. Next game is at Wichita Regulators, and my next game to Wichita Regulators at Billing Outlaws. Outlaws won 66-26, and the Outlaws' next game is at the Oregon Black Bears. So I'm done.
Man, I don't know if you put in more effort or if the league put in more effort there.
I mean, to be fair, what I was given nothing to work with.
Yeah.
So.
Alright, current slide. Alright, the AFL. So, I had the Iowa Rampage at the Rapid City Marshals. Once again, there are no stats. They didn't post stats because Premier League definitely top tier league. So Iowa won 58-28. Rakeem Pieto played pretty well from what I saw. I was mostly watching the other game, to be fair. The other game was the much better game. So my other game was the Orlando Predators at the Albany Firebirds. This was the Premier League game. This is the best game. This is the game that they should have actually had on NFL Network. It was supposed to be on NFL Network, and then NFL Network changed their mind. But it was on a weird broadcasting service called the Vire Network, which actually does have, I believe, replays, so you can watch this, unlike the games that were streamed on the Arena Football Live website, which does not have playback, at least as of last time I checked. But this game was, this game went to overtime, and believe it or not, Albany led this game for a total of 0 seconds. They won on a game-winning field goal, which they only... So, the end of... So, originally, they kicked the field goal in overtime, and they missed it. It bounced off the net. Somebody on Orlando touched it, and then they recovered. And then they ran a couple more plays, and then they were... the Albany recovered off the tip, so they got the ball back, and they got the yard... They got to start the downs over again. And then they weren't able to score again, and then they kicked the field goal and actually made it that time. And that's how they won.
That's impressive.
Is this the dagger?
It actually was.
Talk about a way to fuck up the ending of a game.
Yeah, because Orlando did win the kickoff, So to an overtime, and then Drew Powell promptly fumbled the ball away in classic Drew Powell soul-crushing turnover way.
Oh
So.
my gosh.
But
Oh my
once
Here's
again,
the drive
gosh.
in a deep left field by Castellanos. It will be a home
That's
run.
crazy.
it was a really good game. Unlike the rest of the league.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So here's how we did in the pick'em. Kyle's really good at picking the Arena Football League.
Always am. It's the leagues with a team, the A League leagues, like the ones that start with A, are what I'm best at.
Yeah. Well, you were good at the Australian one.
Oh yeah, fair. Damn. Indoors.
Indoor, yeah.
Indoor
American
A.
gridiron football.
I think it's impressive that how many I got just straight up wrong, and because I was being different.
It is unlucky.
Yeah.
That is
Coin flips on
pretty
everything.
wild.
I
Pretty
should
much
have
every
just
team.
assumed home teams.
To be fair, everything was a coin flip on a lot of these.
Still
I also
are.
like that you denoted Falcons as AAL2.
It was
It was
because it was technically the Philadelphia Soul, but they were played by the
I'll be covering that in a minute.
Yeah.
And the crazy stories.
by the they were played as the Philadelphia Soul as played by the Dallas Falcons of the AL2. So yeah, so here's the standings. As you can see, in the East you have the Firebirds, the Cats, the Myth, and the Scabs. In the Central you had the Rampage, Liberty, Storm Regulators, Voodoo, Desert Hawks, Forest Preds. In the South and West, Outlaws, Black Bears, Marshalls, Wolfpack. I will say, give credit. Every division being split 1-1 and 0-1 is
Good sign.
yeah, pretty good. How many
good
of these
start.
teams will still be around in 3 weeks? Who knows?
You mean 2 weeks?
2 weeks, yeah. We'll see if this games are supposed to be on NFL Network actually play on NFL Network. So here is the pick on.
All right, I'm just gonna get a coin flipper out.
Okay, I'm going Firebirds.
I'd go Firebirds too.
Okay,
I-
home is gonna be heads.
I'm
all
gonna
right?
go. I'm gonna go Iowa here. He
I'll
only
go
road team to
Iowa.
win last week, so.
Give me the Firebirds,
Okay.
and then give me Storm.
I'll go Outlaws.
Give me Outlaws.
So, God, the Outlaw, they won their game, right?
They won by 40.
And the Blackbears barely beat the Wolfpack.
Yeah. I remember you mentioning you thought Oregon was going to be pretty bad. So
Yeah, their field is garbage.
Georgia got. Oh,
God.
all I
I'm gonna flip a
gotta
coin.
say, it's week 2 and we already got one of these.
Give me the Forks.
I'm going Voodoo for the content.
I don't even think this league can have ties, but I want to pick a tie.
Oh my gosh.
I want to pick game does not play. I'll go Voodoo. I'm gonna go Predators.
I'll go Predators.
Let me flip my coin. Give me Desert Hawks. This game might not actually happen, because the thing that I think Nate has to also cover.
Yeah, the Desert Hawks. Marshall Wolfpack. These are also two teams that shouldn't be playing.
Give me Marshall.
Marshalls are really bad.
I don't think the Wolfpack are any good either. You said Marshall, Kyle.
Yes.
The Wolfpack claim that they can't have streaming, or have been claiming that they can't stream their games, because despite the fact that WNBA has played live television games from their stadium, they claim there's no press box when there is a press box.
Who did?
Probably just
The
costs
Wolfpack.
too much.
Marshalls.
Yeah,
Screw that BS.
yeah, it's a fake team. All right, whoever plays for the Philadelphia Soul.
No.
Give me the Falcons.
No.
I don't know if it's going to be the
No.
Dallas Falcons again, Kyle. It could be a different team.
Just put me down for
maybe
this
they
game is
decide
not
to
happening.
resign all their coaches and
put me
players.
down for
I should
game
actually
not
just switch
happening.
it to the real name, the Scabs.
Scabs.
Give me game not
Your
happening.
game not happening, so you can just come with the rest of us and Kyle.
No. Denote it so we know that. So it's an L if they win. You know, if either team plays.
Okay.
All right, and my last game. Give me the Regulators.
I'm gonna go Liberty.
I'm going Liberty.
I think the coin picked all the wrong teams. That's all I gotta say.
Kyle's about to be 4 and 12 in this.
If this league folds early, I argue we do not count this score.
I disagree.
Yeah, it definitely counts.
It happens. So
We were talking about it probably folding beforehand, Kyle, or at least most of the teams. So
And
it's expected. We came in expecting this.
we were expecting it. Yeah. I said I didn't expect it to be this bad. To be fair.
All right, who's ready for
all
the
right,
best?
looks good.
All right, let me.
Just do 2 tiers right now. Just do survive. Will survive tier, and do will fold tier. Or maybe you could do 3.
You know, I'm
You could do
down for that as
you
well.
could do will survive.
All right, Iowa
50-50.
won. Selena won, right?
Yeah, Selena won.
Desert Hawks won.
Storm won.
Albany won. Cats won.
Voodoo won, right?
They won. The Voodoo won. Okay, so these lost. Preds played a good game though, so I'm gonna put these ones all in a different thing than the Preds.
Yeah.
And the Preds are probably better than these two, even though they won.
I agree. And I'm fine with that.
Well, no, I'll probably put Albany.
I liked my idea better, so I don't care how this goes.
Of what teams will
Would've been-
survive and which ones won't.
Yeah, it would have been way better for content.
Do you want to do that? We could do that.
You already made this.
I mean,
this.
we're already basically halfway there. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, so out of
No,
the
we
teams
just-
that
we
won,
just-
so we'll put the wins that will make it on S tier.
Liberty.
Liberty makes it.
Liberty makes
I
it.
think Albany makes it. So
Albany
they're not
makes
by
it.
Antonio Brown this time. Nashville will make it.
I think Nashville might make it.
Iowa won't.
Iowa won't. No. Desert
the
Hawks,
rest
if they
of
win
A
their
tier will
lawsuit,
not.
might. No. Okay.
Nope.
That's
neither
why
of
I
us.
think. That's why I think the Hawks should be 50-50. You need a
Predators
50-50
never
tier. They
survive.
win their lawsuit, they're fine. They lose, they're out.
Okay. So we'll put them in A and red because they're not gonna make it. So I'll make A. Gosh.
Predators never win.
Sorry.
Alright. So, we'll put A tier here and yellow because they're 50-50 chance of whether or not they make it. B tier for the Preds. They will make it because they are coming from they have good ownership,
game.
I think. Or better ownership, at least. I don't think either of these teams make it. Okay, so F. So ABC. So these are D tiers, and D tier. Oops. Down.
Georgia Force 1000% are not surviving.
Yeah, I think they don't have any home games. I think all their home games are
Right.
taken away. They're not gonna make it. The Myth will
Rap-
make it because that's the commissioner's baby, despite the fact. So they're gonna make it if the league makes it. The Myth will be around.
I would think same thing with Rapid City. They could survive. They at least played a year last year in a different league.
I think yeah. These are all
But
coming. Well, Wichita was a semi-pro team last year, but they did play last year.
Okay. Cool. That works with me.
I think it works.
And
Soul.
we have F, and then double F, and then triple F, and then quadruple
And then
F.
quadruple.
And then 50 feet of
And then
crap.
quintuple.
And then there's us.
Yeah, 50.
Quintuple.
And then we have Scabs.
Yep.
That might be my favorite tier list to date. This one's gonna be so much fun to mess with.
So yeah, that's change. If teams start folding, we can have a graveyard tier.
Yes, yes.
Put the graveyard right
I
in
can't
the middle.
wait to
You know?
see like 12 teams in it.
Hey, actually, why don't we preemptively make the graveyard? So just put it on like triple F.
Such a big below the graveyard.
Yeah, well, at least it's better to be dead than be Scabs.
Yep.
Yeah,
Agreed.
for real.
All right. That went well. All right, the AIF.
I have a game.
A league that
so-
may also be folded because they didn't
I
update the
do not
stats
have
on
a
that one
game.
thing, so I have no idea.
Okay.
That them not putting the score in scared me, so I went and checked the different feeds. At least Amarillo, Harrisburg, and Columbus have all posted recently talking about their next games. So as of right now, the league still exists. Maybe
Yeah,
they'll
Columbus
just all
is-
play independent if the league folds and just keep play each other anyways, you know?
Yeah,
That'd be pretty
Columbus is
funny.
actually pretty good, so I'm sure they'll find somewhere else.
I mean, the
to play.
Columbus was in the NAL 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi could be picked up by somebody else too. But anyways, I had Corpus Christi at Amarillo. Final score is 48-34. Next game is a bye week, so that's all I had.
Beautiful, Nate. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, the AIF for me. I have the team that puts in the scoreboard, so... Columbus Lions at Harrisburg Stampede. It was a repeat of last week, except with the venue flipped, and Harrisburg played a lot better, so I assume this must be similar to, like, the Idaho situation, where their good players don't travel.
Maybe.
Yeah, so... 42-34 final score. Columbus doesn't run the ball, so they got outran. Harrisburg did do a good job because Columbus quarterback now has more incompletions than touchdowns, so he's basically washed now. Throwing almost 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. Both teams fumbled. Columbus threw 1 pick and Harrisburg threw 2. Columbus nailed all their PATs, and Harrisburg missed a couple, and then missed. We're pretty good on their 2-point conversion attempts. So, anyways, yep.
I think Harrisburg kept it closer than I thought they would. Within 8 is
They
not
did,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah. So D'Amico Ewing, I gave the Columbus star, who had 8 catches, 124 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and then Isaac Hurd for Harrisburg, who was 9 of 21 for 84, 2-2, and then but his real contribution was on the ground, 12 for 57 and 3. If you note, he had more rushing yards than the team had rushing yards because their other guy was negative.
Good lord.
That's impressive.
Yep. And Cedar Rapids had a bye. So here's how our results went. We were all bright because it was a pretty easy
Kyle.
week.
Go figure.
Kyle helped improve his stats a little bit, you know?
Dang it! It was fun when he was winless.
Yeah. He got bailed out by one of his teams
You
playing.
tripled your
13.
win total.
Funny's
That's
still
impressive.
Here are the standings. Look, I'm really looking forward to whenever Columbus versus Corpus Christi happens, because I want to see what the real difference is between the two teams, you know?
Yeah, I think that might come down to who's home, who's away.
I don't think so.
I think Columbus
wins
will still
either
win.
way.
I just want to see how close it is.
I think it'd be within 14, but
I think it'll be a blowout in Columbus. I think it'll be close in Corpus Christi.
yeah,
Fair.
that's fair.
Here's our league leaders asterisks because only Columbus puts in stats. No, or Marcus Burke just casually has 800 more passing yards than everybody else.
True. That's also possible.
Yeah, but as you can see, last week Mason now has more incompletions than touchdowns. So, because now he has 33 incompletions to only 28 touchdowns, so he's washed.
Yeah, washed.
Yeah.
I agree.
And there's no running in any of those games. Leading rusher had 62 rushing yards. Alright. Here is our pick'em. It's just an exhibition game, the AAL2. Unlike the Arena Football League, AAL2 opponents are only exhibition games in this league.
Give me Stampede.
What about
Stampede.
Stampede? You don't believe in the Jersey Bearcats?
I wanted to do it for memes, but nah.
It would have been funny if it was the Dallas Falcons.
If it was the Dallas Falcons, I would have rolled with it. It'd be crazy.
I wish the Falcons had played somebody, but they didn't have any of the exhibition games.
Yep, those rankings look good to me.
Look good to me.
Yep. All right. Good, easy league. Major League Rugby.
I think I have all three for mine.
I have
so-
one.
Yeah, you go.
All right. So I had the New England Free Jacks playing the RFC Los Angeles. This game was a good win for the Free Jacks. Won 34-12. Not really much to talk about in this game. It was a blowout. So, yeah. It was New England's 5 tries to Los Angeles 2. Free Jacks also had a penalty kick. They were able to convert 2 out of 4 versus Los Angeles's 1. And then Los Angeles just had a few more passes than them. Otherwise, the stats were fairly balanced.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, have 3. San Diego is garbage.
Yeah, they're bad. They're to being
They
bad
got
again.
shut out in this game. Is this our first shutout of the year?
I think
actually
in
not-
Major League Rugby, yeah. I think
Yeah,
Wow, that's impressive.
I think
It's
Anthem
pretty-
scored at least every game.
I think
they
you're right.
scored. It's pretty embarrassing for San Diego to pull this up. I'm not surprised in the slightest. They have such a mid offense. But Houston won 33-0. Had more tries, obviously. No penalty kicks. Houston had more tackles. Teams did not keep it very clean with the penalties, 13-12, and 3 yellow cards is crazy. I think that's one of the higher totals I've seen this year.
They were not
Houston
happy
did
that
have
they
a
weren't
red
scoring.
card though.
I'm assuming it's probably
wish-
retaliatory.
Yeah, I'd assume,
point.
considering that San Diego had 3 yellow cards, probably had something to do with that. If I had a little bit more time, I would have looked that up, but unfortunately, I did not. They both tied and lined out in scrums, though, which was interesting. Houston had more conversions, again, obviously, with San Diego being shut out. Houston's key player was Ronan Murphy, 10 points, a couple tries, and 13 tackles. San Diego's key player, since they were shut out, I decided to not give them one.
Okay, makes sense.
So, yeah, they're a bunch of scrubs. And Houston will go on the road to face the Utah Warriors, in which I would probably think Houston wins that one, but they could lose. But I would not feel too confident in Utah winning that. Next game, I'm mad at myself for not believing my boys, in large part because they're my only mid team in any league. As the Dallas Jackals defeated the Miami Sharks in Miami, final score 38-17. Dallas had 6 tries to Miami's 3. Neither team had a penalty goal kick. Miami did have a marginal, quite a few more tackles than Dallas. And Dallas was also pretty sloppy with penalties, including a red card. But just looking at some of these stats, it didn't seem like Dallas really outplayed Miami because less lineouts, less scrums. They did have more conversions, weren't necessarily more efficient, but they did have a couple more. So Dallas's key player was Connor Winchester with 7 points. He had a try and 42 kicking meters. Michael Hand was the key player for Miami with 5 points, a try, and 38 kicking meters. The key differentiator was Dallas was moving the ball a lot better. They had more passes, and they did have also quite a few more breakdowns. And Dallas will go on the road to take on the shut-out San Diego Legion. And last game, I can't remember the last time I've given a shout-out to my boys in blue. I don't know if I've shot them out in another game this year. I think I have, but I don't remember. But Anthem did lose this game, as expected, 40-5.
But they did score. Take that, San Diego.
They did get, they didn't get shut out like San Diego. They did have one try to Nola's 6. No penalty goals for either kicks for either team. Anthem had a crap ton more tackles. Just means they struggled, man. They were not getting the ball. They were not moving the ball well. They were a hot mess. To have nearly 200 more tackles is crazy. They had more penalties. All my teams this week struggled with penalties, 9-5. Anthem had 2 yellow cards. A lot of yellow cards this week, by the way. I usually usually one a game, and then all 3 of these had at least one team with 2 or 3. No red cards. Nola had more lineouts. Anthem did have more scrums one though. Nola had more conversions and were more efficient. Nola's key player was Dolian Jones with 11 points. He had a try, 3 goals kicked, and 316 kicking meters with 10 tackles. Anthem's key player was David Still. He had a try, 5 carries, and 115 running meters. Key differentiator was Anthem existing. And next game, they get to lose pretty bad against Seattle. So have fun covering that game next week, Kyle.
Yep. So the next closest game to a shutout was the Miami Sharks losing 25-3.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't
I'm
even
not surprised
Anthem.
Miami's one of those teams, but who was that too? Is that LA?
No, it was to the Free Jacks.
Free Jacks.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Miami was really bad at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I think the lowest Anthem has scored is 5 points.
Or they just had
I think
5.
they've done that.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was. Yeah, I was trying to look through the scores, so yeah, it should be 5.
All right. So Major League Rugby, the Chicago Hounds had a bye, and then my other 2 teams played each other. Utah beat Old Glory 31-24. That was a close game. Utah had more tries. Old Glory had a penalty kick, got a penalty try though. They technically had the same amount of tries, except you don't get your conversion kick on a penalty try. So the real key difference was Utah making all their conversions, and they also had a penalty kick. They moved the ball a lot more. They had twice as many passes. They did have 2 yellow cards though, and had more penalties. They had more carries, more breakdowns, less tackles obviously when you have the ball more. And then Old Glory did win out the line out scrums and restarts. Here is how we did on the pick'em. So pretty decent week, except we all whiffed on the Sharks because we thought the Sharks were hot. Turned out the Sharks were not. And Kyle went for the Golden Snitch, and it blew up in his face. But
Yep.
Otherwise, we're all pretty locked in
Yeah.
on Major League Rugby.
We locked in this league, boys.
I cannot believe we all fell for the Sharks.
Yeah.
Well, you 2 picked first, and so because I was hesitant, but you guys convinced me to do it. I was not convinced they were going to do it,
Yeah.
but I shouldn't have listened.
We dragged you down to drown with us.
Yeah. So.
Here's how the standings look. Shout out to my second place Chicago Hounds. This is also like the East-West in the indoor league, where one side is just much better than the other.
0-8, baby.
God, Anthem so bad.
So bad. That's my team right there.
Yeah.
You're either dominating or getting bent over. Except the Jackals. Make up your mind. You're supposed to be good or bad. No mid here
Yeah.
for me.
To be fair,
Idiots.
most of this league is mid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're the league leaders. So,
Yes, sir. Out of baby DeWald. Although
What
those
is
guys are catching up.
NWE?
what?
At New England?
Yeah, New England.
NWE? Okay.
No, it's Anthem.
Yep.
I would be shocked if Anthem was anywhere on this list.
It might be
If there's a
kicking meter or
turnovers
something,
category.
maybe. Let me kick the ball at.
We need to find something they're the best at.
Points allowed.
Turnovers.
Losing.
It's Seawolves.
Are you going to go for the golden snitch this week?
No, you can't. You know, it's not funny if you go for it every week.
I mean, you've only
You
picked them like
gotta-
3 times.
You
I
have
mean,
picked
yeah,
them
but
a
you
lot.
don't pick it every week. I've only
Gotta
picked them like
stop,
twice,
man.
I think.
They're going winless.
I
No,
don't
they'll
believe it.
win one.
I don't
I'll go
believe in the
DC.
Sharks anymore. Yeah.
I do not believe in DC, so give me the Sharks.
Houston, I'll go Houston.
Yeah, give me Houston.
Yeah. Let's go Hounds.
Give me the Free Jacks.
I'll go for the Jacks.
You guys are disappointing, Houndy McHound face.
That's okay, because I'm going to meat ride the Jackals.
Yeah, give me the Jackals.
Yeah, I'll make sure. I'll go Legion here. You know.
Oh, Nate, you could pull ahead of Jackson this week.
The kind of the goal is to just cancel out with Jackson.
Fair.
I think the Free Jacks will win, but I'd imagine San Diego bounces back. That being said, getting shut out, I just don't try. San Diego's offense is just so
I'm gonna
bad.
move them to the bottom.
They're saving all the points for this week.
Probably, I don't know. Dallas shouldn't be 4-4, but as Jackson noted, this league is so mid.
It was
they
like
allowed
the
them to be 4-4.
who did the Raiders play after their legendary game against the Vikings? Because it was like that where they was it the Chargers? Where they just completely
I don't
blew
know what
on
you're
the water
referring
after
to,
scoring 0
unfortunately.
points.
Yeah, this is too inside the hash for me, Kyle.
Oh, okay.
For real.
Uh,
I think those are pretty valid for the most part, though.
Utah Beetle Glory.
Maybe moved up.
Nola had a bye, right?
They played Anthem, so
Oh, they
yes.
played it. Yeah, they had a bye.
But Miami beat NOLA, right?
Yeah, so Miami,
I don't-
Miami is in front of Nola, so
I know. I was about to say move Miami down, but then I was like, oh, they beat NOLA.
yeah.
You know, I'm gonna say it. I think Hounds can go up to B tier for just this week.
They had a bye. So.
No, if they played a game last week, maybe.
I just moved San Diego to the bottom of C tier from the top because they scored no points. So
I would argue Chicago won the bye week.
I wouldn't.
by everybody else sucking.
Yes.
No,
I'd
I'm
say
gonna leave
this
them in
is
C
fine.
tiers.
Okay.
C for Chicago. All right, to the Australian Football League.
I think
So I
I
have 3 teams.
had 3 teams as well.
I,
Oh, wait, no, I had only 1. I lied.
Yeah, you go.
I forgot. Okay, so I'll go. I
I was about to say, how the hell did you have 3 teams?
I
had
was
the
used to
Roos.
it. This is the 1 week I had a bunch of slides. This is the first time I think I had any league have 3. I had multiple, so. This is one of the game. It was the Giants versus the Lions, and it was not close. 113-59. Giants had way more goals. Both teams had 11 behinds, so the Lions were really inefficient with more behinds than goals. Giants had a lot more disposals. They had more total kicks. They had more handballs. Giants did have less free kicks. The Giants had more marks and less turnovers. Not a lot of tackles in this game, but Giants did have a few more. Giants won the possession battle by 11%, which is pretty marginal from what I'm learning about this league. Usually teams keep it about within 3 to 4%. So 10% or above is pretty bad. The Lions did have a lead for 18 minutes. It's mostly in the first and second quarter. Beyond that, the Giants were dominating this game. So Lions lead scorer had 100 fantasy points. Josh Dunkley, 20 disposals, 10 kicks, 10 handballs, and 4 marks. And Tom Green for the Giants had 127 fantasy points with a goal and a behind, 37 disposals, 16 kicks, 31 handballs, and 5 marks. Key differentiator was the Lions are insanely mid. You could have used literally any stat as a key differentiator here because they just got absolutely flattened. I guess the possession battle is probably the biggest takeaway for this game. They did not have the ball for a good majority of this game. Biggest lead, the Lions at 9 points, and the Giants had as lead as 60. So next game for the Giants is going to be a tough one. They will go on the road to face the Sydney Swans. So that is it for me.
The battle at the top of the table.
Yeah. Giants have had a rough schedule lately. This is kind of a little
Mine are
breather
going to
for
be
them.
pretty quick. So first up, we had the Adelaide Crows taking on the North Melbourne Kangaroos. This one went about as it would in Kangaroo fashion with a blowout. The largest lead was 71 points, and then the Roos held the lead for 0 minutes. Shocker. This game was basically over from the first quarter. Roos didn't put up much of a fight. Next up, we had the Fremantle Dockers take on the Western Bulldogs. This game was surprisingly pretty back and forth through the first half, while in the second half, the Dockers finally went away with it. The Bulldogs held the lead for a total of 7 minutes and 23 seconds. And had their largest lead was 4 points, and then the Dockers' largest lead was 24 points, which is what they won by. Then finally we have the Melbourne Demons took on Richmond. They won by 43 points, which is more than what Richmond scored, so they won 85-42. Richmond held a 1-point lead for a total of 6.5 minutes. And then, other than that, the Demons held the lead. Their largest lead was 44 points, but won by 43.
Okay.
Trying to keep it concise.
Yep. All right, AFL. So I'm going to start it off with a banger, an 85-85 tie between the Magpies and the Bombers. Both teams were identical. They had 12 goals to 13 behinds.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't think it was possible.
To draw?
Yeah.
It's hard because of scoring so
It's
weird.
really hard.
Yeah, so the key here is obviously you just need to be more efficient on your attempts if you want to win. Collingwood was good efficiency inside the 50, getting over 50%, which is kind of what you want. Even with the turnover battle, but they lost in the clearances, they lost in hit-outs, and they tied in marks. And I guess this would be really tough on the Bombers, considering they had a lead for 83 minutes. So for the star, I gave it for the Magpies, I gave it to Brody Mihoki, who had 3 goals, 3 behinds as assists, 15 disposals, 7 marks, and 300 meters. To Kyle Langford, who had 4 goals, 2 behind, 14 disposals, 7 marks, a tackle, and 235 meters. My next game was the Sydney Swans, beating the absolute piss out of the Hawthorn Hawks, 118-42. Once again,
Is this the dagger?
yeah, Hawks, if they want to win, they need to be more efficient on their goals, because 5-12 is kind of a rough.
That might be the worst ratio we've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if they need to be more efficient on that, but also more efficient on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely both. But when you have 7 more behinds than goals, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Sydney was good at efficiency. They were good on defense. They didn't turn over the ball as much, and they had the lead for over 100 minutes. Logan McDonald, their star, 3 goals, 3 behind, an assist, 12 disposals, 5 marks, 2 tackles, and 214 meters. And then for Hawthorne, Dylan Moore, who had 1 goal, 1 behind, 1 assist, 25 disposals, 8 marks, 5 tackles, and 323 meters. And then my final game, probably game of the week. Maybe. I mean,
Ooh.
the Cats had the lead for the most of the game, but it was a close game between 2 top-level teams, between the Blues and the Cats. 105-118. Once again, for Carlton, and you just gotta hit those. Gotta be more efficient on your goal scoring if they want to get the win. Plus, no defense. They had a bad defense inside the 50 because 60% is really good, but other than that, they had pretty decent defense. The marks was what killed them inside the 50, and then the Cats had the lead for an overwhelming majority of the game, but it's not like the game wasn't close. For the Blues, I gave it to Charlie Curnow. 3 goals, 2 behind, 2 assists, 14 disposals, 5 marks, 3 tackles, 229. To Jamie Cameron, 5 goals, 1 assist. So there's some efficiency. So 5 goals, 1 behind, 1 assist, 17 disposals, 9 marks, 1 tackle, 2 clearances, and 370 meters. Some scores from around the league. You had the Saints and the Power. The Power won by 10, and then the Suns beating up on the Eagles 112-75. So here is how we did on the pick'em. The Magpie Bombers throwing us the ball off. Here was the tie. Me having too much faith in the Eagles. Kyle sticking with his Dockers, really coming through.
Oh, I had a really good week. Wow.
Yeah.
Not a loss. Good for you.
Yep. So
Yeah, I'll take it.
our this is the tightest bunch of our pick'em because it's only the 2-game spread between first and third.
Yeah, I got to come back a little bit this week with just all the wins. Nice.
Yep. So here's how the standings look. You still have the Cats undefeated and the Roos winless.
Another winless team.
Yep. The Roos was the
collecting 'em
lowest
like
SRS
babies.
of any team.
Yes, sir.
The SRS really likes the Swans.
862 points allowed.
I would argue the SRS is doing its job pretty well in this league.
862.
Yeah, it's 123,
allowed.
123 a game is the average.
That is straight up vile.
Yeah.
No one else is. No one else
Still
is
not the worst points
Yeah,
for.
nobody's even in 700.
Because,
they're
like
the
I
worst
said, the
offense.
Kickers' offense is. I mean, it's not good, but it's not as big of a problem. It's still a problem.
Yeah,
They're
it's still a
third
massive
worst.
problem. Yeah.
But when you're allowing that many points,
Yeah.
good lord.
Nice.
Alright, so here are our stat leaders. Charlie Curnow, most goals, but pretty
Good
good,
baby Jesse.
good clump there. Top.
Good baby
Nobody
Latchy.
really outthing Mark.
Yo, North Melbourne's got something.
Yeah, he's good at getting him marks.
Let's
They have a guy
oh.
who's good at getting hit outs.
At least they have something.
Yeah. Unlike Anthem.
Hey,
Anthem
Antham's
probably
got
has
something.
tackles. They probably have
Spirits.
tackles if we did tackles on it for rugby.
Anthem has spirit.
Oh, I'm sure, because when you're an awful team, you're
Yeah.
you're going to be tackling more.
Yeah, here is the pick on. Alright, Power Crows. I think I'll go Power.
Yeah, give me power.
I'll go power.
Magpies
Then give-
Blues.
Give me blues on this one.
It's probably the Blues. I think the Magpies choke job, but I think I'll give it the Blues. If the Magpies had won, I would pick the Magpies if the Magpies tied.
I'm going with the Pat method. Blues.
Giant Swans. This is probably game of the week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with
I'm
Swan.
gonna flip a coin on this one. Give me the Swans. I got heads.
You're gonna go with your team, Nate.
I'll go with my team. Why not?
What about here?
Hell no.
Give me the Saints.
Ooh, Demon Cats. This could be a good game too, but I gotta stick
No,
with
that's
my
gonna be a
team.
good
here.
game. What are the Cats record-wise?
7-0.
Undefeated.
Oh, they're 7-0. Yeah, give me Cats. It might be another very good game of the week, but
What's the Demons record in SRS?
they're up there.
They are 5-2 and 9.9.
Give me the Demons. I'll roll the dice, baby.
They could win
they're
that
clo-
game.
they're
Yeah.
they are close.
Bombers.
Yeah, Bombers, please. Then give me Dockers.
Yeah, Tigers suck.
Dockers. Bulldogs.
Bulldogs. Yeah.
Yeah, Bulldogs.
This is my
Oh.
bet game, so I'll see what you guys pick, and then see if my bet was.
What's the record of the Lions?
Yo, Suns, I imagine your bet is...
It has to be on the Suns.
Suns are 4-3, and then the Lions are 2-5.
I'll go Suns.
Yeah, give me Suns.
Good for you guys, because I also went Suns.
I was gonna say, I there's no
Because the
way
Lions
this-
have not scored.
Yeah.
So
Nate doing 2 lone wolves. Nice.
here is the pick.
I didn't do any lone wolves last week and didn't really do any other league this week, so I figured I'd full Sun and try
You'll
to
get
get
lucky
this
with
one.
them.
Let me. What was the score?
As long as I hit on one of them,
Yeah, that's all that matters.
even then.
So we were right to have the Bombers slightly ahead of the Magpies.
Yep.
I guess they're even. Dockers. Suns, Bulldogs, Saints.
Yeah, they beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Do you want to flip Bulldogs and Dockers?
No, the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs lost to the Dockers. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a fair one, seeing they're right there.
Suns lost to the Power.
Crows could
Make that-
almost move up to D tier, because they at least scored a league average against, slightly above league average against the Roos.
I like the Cemetery.
Hey, we said this week we didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
Kyle's technically not wrong,
Yeah.
so I'm fine with this. But if Kyle has more to add, then
I mean, Crows are just gonna lose next week anyway, so we can move them right back down.
Okay, so we'll put the birds next to each other, but not these birds. These birds stay down with the kangaroos.
but it's for this week, not for next week.
Yo,
So leave the Crows
like I
where
said,
they're
the
at.
Crows are probably gonna lose and fall right back
Yeah,
down.
so they could
No,
lose this week
no.
and they go back down. I'll give Kyle this one.
That- Fine. It doesn't
Other
make
than that,
sense
I'm
to
fine
rank
with
a team higher.
Well, they won last week, so they can move up.
Yeah, didn't they beat the Roos?
They
That
beat the
you don't
Roos.
Yeah,
get-
but they were
You
slightly
don't-
above the league
I'm
I'm
average.
sorry, you don't get credit for beating a winless team. You can
Yeah,
move
but they
somebody
were
else
above
up.
the league
You
average.
can move somebody else up, not the Crows. I'm not giving Kyle this. You can move somebody else up. You don't get credit for beating someone that's 0-6. That allows 120 points a game.
130 on them.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Congrats. You beat their defensive points average. So impressive.
Okay, we'll give Kyle
If-
unsymmetry and just
There we
leave
go.
the Bulldogs and
I'm
That's
fine
fair.
with that.
I think
Yep,
that's fair. I'll go with that. That one makes more sense.
I agree.
Alright. So losing money with Jackson, here we are.
Not losing.
Yeah, losing money. We started with $5. We're at $51.04. So we're up 1,021%.
You should do a $46 bet.
No.
Perhaps.
It would be funny. It's called the reset.
Yeah. Maybe if we get to triple digits. So I'm picking the Suns because they're, for some reason, are the underdogs against the Lions, despite the fact the Suns they're about the same, except the Suns, actually score sometimes. So
That's interesting.
yeah, it's plus 155, which is kind of crazy because it's like pretty big underdog comparatively to what I usually bet.
What is the spread you have to hit with it?
It's straight win.
Is it just
It's
straight
straight
win?
win.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I do straight line
Straight
bets.
one, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like money line bets more than spread.
Oh, fair.
For sure.
So Nate, are we doing Falcons gonna Falcon? Because the
I
crazy
got
stories
team
are a little
news.
bit bigger.
But then, yes. So I'll share my screen for the team news really, really fast.
Okay.
And then cover the other stuff. So team news side, Rapid City Marshals signed Brian Villanueva, who played in the early 2000s as Iowa Barnstormers quarterback. He's the oldest player in the league at 45 and hasn't played in over 10 years. So Rapid City's desperate for their first franchise win. We'll see how it pays off, Cotton, but it's a bold strategy right now. And then we had the Billings roster
When does
posted.
Rapid City play Philadelphia?
That's fair. It could happen, or it could be canceled.
Yes.
So, it just kind of scrolling through. Hey, Blankenship. That's a last name I'm familiar with, but just kind of scroll through some of these names. Dwayne Brown sounds familiar too. Might have been on last year's. Did they play last year? I don't even remember.
No. Oh yeah, Billings
No.
did. Billings did. Yeah.
Billings did. Yeah. They did. I think it made him on the team last year, but. So beyond that, not too familiar with anybody. Maybe these guys know Antonio Brown. I don't know.
I got a couple of Central Michigan players.
So, and then this was the Rapid City roster. So they already had them listed there because this article was posted before they announced it, but at least on the site I used. But
Yeah.
shout out to a Houston player, U of I guy, Trevon Sidney. There's a key player right there. I
Nice.
do not recognize that name.
What'd you say it was?
Trevon Sidney, receiver and defensive. Yeah, I probably wouldn't recognize. He probably primarily played defensive back, I guess.
I'm looking it up right now.
2 U of I
He played
players.
at USC and Illinois. It says so.
Interesting.
He was a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I definitely don't remember. Oh, I think I do remember seeing him. Tim Lucas, for sure, I don't remember though. 1000% do not remember him.
They have him listed as a wide receiver. Jack.
Rockford University too. That's interesting. And then Sam Houston State, gross, cut him. Disgusting pond scum.
Alabama.
2 guys out of Rockford. What's going on? Why? Why is Rockford getting players over ACU?
Nate, just so you know, he had 5 games played in 2019, and that was it.
The Atlanta, the
wide
Yeah,
Lucas
the
or
Atlanta.
first- Gotcha.
16 receptions for 123 yards with a touchdown.
Nice.
Yeah.
It sums up
What
U
about
of
a
I.
career?
2019.
Yeah.
That's Lovey. He was a Lovey guy.
He was a lovey guy. Oh man.
Was that the year we were good, right? Yeah.
With Lovey, I think so.
Yeah, I think
The
it,
7-6. Or...
yeah, it was a
something
good
like
lobby
And then
year.
he didn't
Yeah.
play in 2020, and you were bad. Coincidence?
I think
think so.
not. All right. So, last 2 bits. Falcons get a Falcon. Once again, didn't really have any massive leads blown, so we're going to another blast of the past. I think this is the opener of the new XFL season 2023. I could be mistaken. Regardless, this was week 1 between the Brahmas and Battlehawks, where the Brahmas were up 15-3 with 1:42 to go and lost. Game was tied 3-3 at half. So it was a really low scoring game. Offenses couldn't figure things out, but San Antonio managed to kick a field goal in the third. And then got a touchdown to Fred Brown. early in the fourth quarter to go up 15-3. And then Hakeem Butler got a touchdown pass from A.J. McCarron with 1:30 left to bring St. Louis back into the game. And then St. Louis, they didn't give me a breakdown of the play-by-play, unfortunately, and had very limited time to highlight this. But St. Louis recovered the onside attempt and then threw the game-winning touchdown to Austin Prohl a minute later with 30 seconds left. And St. Louis won the game from there. And they won the game despite having 100 less yards and 15 minutes less time of possession. So, holy sell job on San Antonio. So that was Falcons get a Falcon. Shout out to San Antonio. As for crazy story of the week, Arena Football League. That's it. That's literally, just saying Arena Football League, its existence. A lot went down this past week.
It's like if Antonio Brown led a whole league.
Literally the Antonio Brown of indoor football leagues, I swear. So first, these aren't necessarily in order, but first thing that I noted was Philadelphia Soul had cut their entire roster and coaching staff and ended up having to use the Dallas Falcons out of the AAL2 league, had to use their roster and coaching staff to play their game the other day. The Oregon Black Bears were missing their kicking nets prior to game time. They did get them, to their credit. Regardless, the fact they didn't have them at any point is wild to me. And their head coach was on AFL podcast, which was deleted today. So makes you wonder what he said. Probably stuff that
I got a clip. So
you did have a clip.
Yeah. So
did you?
well, no, we'll do after you get to everything. I got a couple clips. So
okay.
I'll bring them
Jackson's got that. So. And then the Louisiana Voodoo were forced to move because they were not paying rent in their first arena. And then you had Southwest Kansas Storm. They had I worded this really poorly.
They
had
their players held out.
Players held out from practice before the game due to not having any trainers. And then West Texas Desert Hawks, probably my favorite thing that we found out, are being sued by the NAL due to a potential breach of contract. I'm pulling for the NAL. It'd be pretty funny for the Desert Hawks to be forced to leave the league, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they win and they have to change their name back to the Warbirds.
Yes. And then we have this from the Oregon Black Bears. Just look at those.
No, this is the Voodoo.
Oh, I'm sorry. This was the Voodoo again. For whatever dumb reason, when you first said it, I thought you said Black Bears, and then okay.
The Black Bears have
But
other
yes,
problem.
the Voodoo are a disaster. So good. Kickers already have it bad enough in these leagues, and these guys are setting them up for failure. And then, last but not least, I think this was the first thing that happened. It was that or this Soul issue. I don't remember. The NFL Network. There were a few games on NFL Network that were taken off a couple of days before kickoff.
I think the Voodoo game was supposed to be on NFL Network, which is really disappointing because that game doesn't get streamed anywhere.
Yes. Voodoo moment. I think the Voodoo are going to be the first to go. Them or the Soul.
I guess the Soul might not fold because they're just a new team every week.
Yes.
To be fair, they might just do that with everybody. Everybody that's fold is just not new team.
Just keep bringing in
there
more
are enough.
staff.
There are enough
They
semi-pro
might save
teams.
money that way. Save money, live better.
Yeah, everybody just play the local semi-pro team that's near you if you can still afford your stadium.
For real. So that was the crazy story of the week, and I'm starting to wonder if more stuff happens next week, we might just call it the
arena
AFL moment of the week.
Yeah. All right, so I have some clips from that podcast as well as some other stuff. So so they got a question about the field condition at the Oregon game. This is the Oregon head coach who's on the right, and then the guy who runs the AFL podcast on the left. This is an official league podcast, so that's why they were able to delete it. But yeah, so they were asked about the field conditions and how their field is just like corral fencing with just pads sticking up against it. But anyways, this is what he had to say about it.
Unfortunately, that's the set of circumstances that we deal
Can you turn
with,
it up?
but the fans don't seem to mind.
This
You
is
know,
lovely
the
goes for
fans
me.
don't seem to mind. Those kids don't seem to mind. They love to see the game. Kids don't seem to mind, you know, the aesthetics of what our wall protection system looks like. Kids don't seem to mind, and the fans don't seem to mind. So as long as we can create a better aesthetic environment, we'll work to do that. But I guess that's pretty much where I'll leave it.
So, yeah. So he said the kids don't mind, the fans don't seem to mind. I wonder if the players mind. Additionally, I think this guy was also involved in a cryptocurrency scandal in 2019.
On brand.
The coach of Oregon. I'll have to check and make sure. Allegedly. I'm not 100% sure because I'd have to look more into it. Because things are wild on the Arena fan forums and stuff.
They saved the crazy story.
Oh,
of the
someone.
week
Yeah,
for
someone could be throwing out
shout
something
out.
baseless, but
Yeah.
yeah, I could. You know, if you say like X person did that, I could almost believe anyone because of how rampant they were at that time. If they just supported crypto in the slightest.
Yeah, so this is how the guy talked about at the beginning. The guy who's running the podcast.
About and writing about, and we are here really just to celebrate too the good stuff that happened, because there was a lot of great stuff that happened this week that is being overshadowed right now by some of the stuff that folks do like to focus on. And I understand, I get it. It gets clicks, it's sexy, it's fun, it's outstanding, but we are doing a disservice to the folks that act talking about.
So yeah, sexy, it's fun, it gets clicks. Definitely not because they're legitimate news stories to be talking about your league imploding. You know.
Shout out to my boy Finn. Basically just said that seals the deal. I'm no longer an AFL fan. I'm taking my talents to the IFL where they know how to run a league.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, and this is the guy. This is his closing segment on it.
So let me tell you right now, if you are one of those people that love to watch the world burn, you're going to continue to watch it burn. But if you're someone that enjoys football and loves to support players continuing their professional career, this is the league for you.
Jam Marks and L.
The thing is so funny about him saying about supporting players continuing their career, considering what happened to the Philadelphia Soul.
This is the kind of league that would defend Antonio Brown. I swear. In Antonio Brown's defense, there's growing.
Yeah, they wouldn't have fined him and they wouldn't have kicked him out of the league like the
you
NAL
mean
did.
there's growing pains and handing
It's
out
okay to
paychecks?
get behind on paychecks.
Yeah.
It's a part of life.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Didn't pay Sam Castronova, by the way.
What do you think he is? Made of money?
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the league commissioner. As you can see, he hasn't tweeted since April 27th when he told you to go to the obscure streaming service that had some of their games.
Oh man.
And then the last thing I wanted to show was from the Voodoo solo game. It's a clip from the game that's just kind of wild in a whole bunch of different fronts. So first off, the Dallas Falcons are obviously the soul here. Just you could look at the side discrepancy between the linemen. Between a technically pseudo-professional team and a semi-pro team. And then I want to notice the cornerback number 5 here, who's going to do a cornerback blitz, which I should note is not legal in indoor football.
I want to note one thing here as well. Look at the crossbar.
Yes, the sideways cross.
Yeah,
That
that's right.
That one's
I
even
noted.
worse.
So I didn't realize they didn't fix that.
That angle
That's
looks even
worse.
Yeah.
At least
It looks worse from
Oregon
this
fixed
angle.
their problem. Goodness sakes.
Yeah, okay, and there's also going to be an offensive block into a wall, and watch what happens to the wall. So look at the wall.
Oh my god.
The people are
heard that?
literally holding up the wall.
So an
That
illegal
sound
blitz,
was
and then
great.
someone bumps someone into a wall, and it all just falls
It
Yeah.
down.
sounded like it exploded, bro.
At least have the
Yeah, look
courtesy.
how
to
far
put
back
tape
it
on.
leaned back.
Hey, like at least put some tape.
Duct tape.
Something.
Come on, man.
Yeah, hey, the difference between their walls and the Oregon walls, at least the Oregon walls are solid, you know? When you bump into
Yeah.
those are real fences. They're gonna stay up.
This league.
Might not feel good, but it'll hold.
Yeah, it's not gonna. Though you're not gonna endanger the whole wall just breaking apart as you go hurtling through it.
I can't believe that didn't get flagged, by the way.
The-
How did you not
Refs are
flag?
just as incompetent as the league.
Yeah, so in arena football, you're only allowed to blitz between the linemen. So the linebackers need to
makes
stay in the
sense.
box.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So corner blitzes aren't illegal. They might be illegal. They may be legal in the AAL too. To be fair. So maybe they got their own rule book because.
I forgot to mention too, because Jackson brought this up. The
overtime
Orlando
game.
the overtime game.
According to the rule
didn't
book, they
follow
played.
the rules.
According to the rule book, they played the overtime wrong, because they played a 15-minute quarter when it should have been 5-minute. A 5-minute quarter, and then there should have been another kickoff after the 5 minutes.
That might be the worst one. I
Would
did
it
not
have
know
changed the
you.
outcome if it was a 5-minute?
Yeah, because Orlando would have had the chance to kick off the ball, too.
Nice.
Because
Oh,
it was sudden death. So if you kick a deuce or a rouge on the kickoff, you can win that way.
Oh, nice.
We have our second guest.
Oh, the cat.
Yeah.
Hello,
Oh,
kitty.
she says meow. She's saying feed me.
She's a
she
big
says-
fan of the Nashville Cats of the Arena Football
She's
League.
an AFL fan now.
She's
Yeah,
a big
she is.
Nashville Cats fan. Too
Her
bad she
favorite
couldn't watch
league.
the game because it wasn't streamed anywhere.
Yep.
All right. You guys got anything closing statements?
I do not.
My closing statement is my cat says she wants food.
All right. Well, you go feed her so she doesn't starve to death.
Oh no, she'll just bite me.
She'll eat you.
She either doesn't get food from me or she eats me. One of the two.
All right. All right. Well, talk to you guys next week.
All right,
See y'all.
Yep.